So what is your risk of heart disease? Well, let's take a look at that. Next slide. This came from the Wall Street Journal, June 1st, 2010. And I use it because they did such a good job of making it simple for everybody. A man is as old as his arteries. That's an English physician back in 1624 to 1689, Thomas Sydenham. Next slide. So what happens, we know that from the 20s all the way up to 60 plus, back in the 20s, we have real nice, beautiful, wide open arteries. And then we get to the 30s, we still have some really nice arteries, but you'll see a change that's occurring in the lower part of the left-hand side there. You see that thickening that's developing. And so we start to see that in our 30s. In the 40s, you start to see a change to that vessel, and it increases over time. When we get to the 60s, there's been some major changes. So we're going to take even a better look at that. Next slide. So here's the complications. Next slide. So this is a normal blood vessel. So what you're looking at in front of you, if we start at the very top of the vessel, you've got muscle. Then you have a fat layer. Then you have what's called the endothelial system. That one cell that you see there in a line, you've got on this you see 5 of them. And then you've got the blood vessel itself. Then you go back down again and you see the endothelial system again, because it's round. And then you've got fat, and then you've got muscle. That's what the blood vessel should look like. And when it's in that state, there you're about age 20, everything's wonderful. It works great. Next slide. But then we start getting into our 30s, and we start having this start to bubble up and develop, where we start to have changes that are occurring with that blood vessel. Most people think that it's the triglycerides and so forth on the inside of that blood vessel. That's not it at all. It's actually from outside the blood vessel that you start to have the closing of that blood vessel. Next slide. So that progresses along a little bit further. Next slide. And then suddenly it ruptures. And when it ruptures, your body has to try to deal with it. And that's what shows up on the inside of that vessel. Next slide. You have a blood clot that forms like this, and then you see it over time mass like that, and now the blood can't get through there, and you have a heart attack because the blood can't get to where it needs to go to. That's a serious complication, and it's what kills the majority of people in the world, is this type of thing. So that's what you want to clear out. And I've got some news for you today about what nitric oxide actually does, and I'll share that with you in just a couple moments. Next slide.